But today, we're going to be talking about a phrase you wanted to share or like a custom in the United States that you wanted to share that probably most people don't know here.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about pay it forward.
皆さん、こんにちは。アーサーです。今日は友達のオースティンとアメリカと日本の優しさの違いについて話した動画をお届けしたいと思います。アメリカ人の優しさには意外な矛盾があって、一方で日本人が冷たいと勘違いされてしまう理由もあるんです。これ本当に興味深い文化の違いですね。ちなみに初めてこのチャンネルをご覧になっている方は Welcome。本当に来てくれてありがとうございます。このビデオシリーズについて説明させてください。僕が日本語を勉強していた時、たくさんフレーズ、文法を勉強したのに、実際に日本に来たら全く話せなくて本当に辛かったです。その時気づいたんです。実際に話せるようになるためには、勉強するだけではなく、実際に使うことが大切だっていうことですね。本当の会話に触れることが必要なんです。でも学習用の英会話動画って英語学習者向けに作られていて、ゆっくりだったり簡単だったり、本当の英語じゃないことが多いんですよね。で、こういう動画はですね、僕が今紹介している動画は、僕が日本語を学んでいた時に欲しかった動画です。セリフもない。本当に普通の友達同士の自然な会話で字幕もついているので理解度もチェックできます。こういう動画は見るだけでも楽しいですが、もし実際に話せるようになりたいなら、他にも何かをする必要があるんですけど、それについてはですね、この動画の最後でお話しします。まずはこの動画を楽しんでくださいね。Pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward instead of paying it backwards.
Yeah, pay it backwards.
Pay it backwards.
That's weird.
Giving someone behind you money.
Well,
Just
take
the money.
It's kind of funny because pay it forward culture, you're often paying for the person behind you. So yeah, it should be pay it backwards, right?
Yeah,
But
explain what it is first.
okay, so basically, I'll give you a very common situation where you see pay it forward. You were at a Starbucks and
Does it happen more in line or in the drive-thru, you think?
I would say the drive-through is easier because it's less confrontational,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like people can overhear what you're ordering if you're just standing in line, and so it's not that it doesn't happen, but I think it's a lot rarer, right? And this is still not a super common thing that happens, but it's a really like a big part of American culture, I think. So basically, let's imagine you're in the drive-thru at a Starbucks, right? You're in your car,
Cool.
and you order your drink. You get like some $15 drink. I think that's how much Starbucks coffee is.
Man.
You get your drink, and you get like your quadruple espresso shot with like
25 pumps of different syrup.
Yeah, whatever. You got your like big gulp. That's Get it, Starbucks tea. I mean, now.
Wait a second. I gotta show this.
You gonna show the big gulp?
Aki, have you ever heard of a 7-Eleven big gulp before? Okay, ready?
It's because 7-Eleven here is healthy.
I know. Okay, so Aki, you gotta bring this up. So this is American. This is in American 7-Elevens.
Was it 40 milliliters or something like that?
No, dude. This is like a liter. Here, let's look at this. So this is actually 7-Eleven in Canada. This website I'm pulling up now, but. Like this big
I was
gulp,
gonna say
right?
something, but
Don't be nice. I'm nice.
Never.
But yeah, so basically in America, in American 7-Elevens, what people don't really know about, I think in the States, is that they have like self-serve soft drink machines, but also they have Slurpees, And so you can come up and they have this like big gulp thing, which is like a liter and a half or 2 liters or something.
Crazy how big it is.
Yeah. So, sorry, when you said big gulp, it just brought memories. Like, I don't know why I'm...
core memory in your head.
Yeah, a core memory in my head.
All right. Anyways.
So what was about the big gulp?
Okay. So
the big gulp in Starbucks.
Like you can get the big gulp at Starbucks now with your coffee, which is a joke. I hope you might be able to do it.
Yeah.
Anyways. So you order your super expensive whatever, and you pull up to the drive-through window, and the person hands you your drink, and they said, okay, well, the person in front of you paid for your drink, so have a nice day.
Yeah, so when you want to be just kind, you can say at the pay plate, at the place where you pay, you can say, I want to pay for the person's order behind me.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because you order it, then you move to the payment window. So while you're at the payment window, the other person has already ordered.
Yeah, and the idea is you're just trying to do a good deed.
Just be a good Samaritan, a nice guy.
A good Samaritan, right? You don't want to just like do something nice for someone, kind of make their day, right? And that is like such a fundamental like part of American culture that I really don't think gets talked about at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's funny because like in Japan, people talk about how safe Japan is and how people are so courteous and kind and say like, in the Inaka, people say hi to each other. But like Japan, I think, is an extremely low trust culture where they have warnings about be careful of this person. Like even in my neighborhood, which is full of, it's like a kind of well-to-do suburb, you can't get there unless you're like pedestrian or you have a car, right?
Yeah.
And they have signs being like, be careful of break-ins, be careful of break-ins, be careful of break-ins. And then in the train station, beware of phone scams, beware of phone scams. And like, I remember when I first came to Japan and I went to the bank and they had like a line of 10 ATMs. And on each ATM, it said, beware of fraud, beware of fraud, beware of fraud. Like, and so I think like in Japan, people tend to keep to themselves more.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. We're gonna go off on a tangent, but you know what? I want to talk about this.
Tangential conversations are the best.
Yeah. Except for if you want to watch the theme. But anyways,
guys.
But so it's funny you mentioned that because I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
But also at the same time, I feel like people here can be so naive to danger.
Yeah.
Right?
Because it's so safe.
Because it's so safe here, right? Like, I'm going to give some context here. So growing up in the U.S. it's dangerous. The U.S. is a dangerous country.
Yes.
Like, I'd be lying to say it's not.
Land of the free.
So land of the free.
So you got to take care of yourself.
So, growing up as a kid, like, especially during the 90s, there was that whole kidnapping scare.
Yeah, right?
Right?
Yeah.
There was like all these kidnappings happened and like the nightly news would come on to people that there's people are going to steal your kids. And so like my parents would still just let me play outside by myself all day.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of emphasis, like my parents would be like, don't talk to strangers.
Yeah, right. Don't talk to strangers.
Don't talk to strangers, right? And so growing up in the U.S. as a kid during the 90s, it's like you kind of build this like paranoia of I need to be aware of my surroundings at all time. I need to make sure there's no weird looking people. I need to be always looking for threats.
Yeah.
Right? And so you kind of condition yourself as an American to just always be looking for threats.
Yeah.
And that absolutely does not happen here.
Yeah, that's true.
And so what I think is, I mean, obviously not everyone's like that here in Japan, but a lot of people can just be kind of like deer in the headlights, just walk into danger, just not even realize it.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's kind of weird that like you have all these signs that are like constantly reminding you of danger.
Yeah.
But then people just kind of ignore them and just like go into danger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just I've heard a lot of stories of Japanese people going overseas and then getting
robbed or something happening, right? And or it's like or something simple like their wallet gets stolen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that's funny that you mentioned that because so you have on this one side you have this be careful of others.
Yeah.
But then you have this pay it forward culture where you just want to be nice to people.
Yeah. So God, I'm still getting over a cold. Just coughing.
Thanks for coughing in my direction, man. We're a little bit. I think this is close to like
trying to share, man.
We share everything, even our germs.
Yeah. Anyways, so I think it really comes from Christian culture.
Okay.
So, it's kind of interesting you brought up like the topic of like Good Samaritan earlier, because I really feel like this is like literally the definition of being a good Samaritan.
Okay.
Do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah, sure. So I think let's all right. So Aki, you can pull this up right here. So for our Japanese listeners, you know that oh yeah, Aki, you can pull up the pictures now. It's okay. Yeah. So the actually, Aki, you can pull up the picture. That's it. Yeah. So everyone knows that America and the West is based on like Christianity, right?
Yeah.
And the Good Samaritan is this story from a story that Jesus told, where a guy gets robbed
Yep.
and he gets beaten and all of his stuff is thrown and he's lying on the side of the street. And some people walk by and ignore him. But then this one guy who's a Samaritan, which is just a person from a country called Samaria.
Yeah.
He comes by and he patches him up. He takes him to a hotel and he takes care of him. And so this kind of concept of a good Samaritan in America now means anyone who does something out of their way to do something nice or support someone, even if they're not going to get anything in return.
That last bit is like the real big emphasis, right? I'll give you another example of this, but I would say it's less good deedy, but it's still good deedy.
It's less good deedy. Look at us making up words.
Less good deedy. But it's less that, but it still kind of follows the same kind of philosophy, right? Secret Santa.
Secret Santa. Okay.
Yeah. So Secret Santa is another thing. It's really an American thing.
Yeah. It is.
But what we'll do commonly, this is like an office or school or some like big social situation. But families do it too.
Yeah.
But basically, you buy a gift from somebody, or you're assigned a person, right? So you all put names into like
either in work or in a group of friends.
Yeah. So you all put names in this like bowl or box or whatever, and you draw names, and you don't tell anybody whose name you got, right? And you buy that person a gift that you think they will really like, but you don't tell them who it's from.
Yeah.
Right? And so that kind of follows like the same thing of like trying to make somebody happy, but really removing any like sense of gratification.
Yeah, not getting any credit for it.
Or credit. Yeah. So it's like pay it forward is the same thing, right? It's like I'm going to do something that's going to physically inconvenience me, either physically or financially, right? It's going to affect me in a negative way, but I'm going to do it because it's going to make someone feel better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's funny. So you have that, and then we were kind of also talking about other customs or habits that you have in the States that you don't have here. And like one of them that I'm used to now, but I still feel weird doing it is not holding the door open for people here.
Yeah, so that's another thing, right? It's like, I think Japan's I'm going to say interesting. I'm not going to say weird because it's a little
weird as a negative connotation.
Yeah. But Japan's interesting in the sense that like this country is known for it's renowned for its hospitality.
Yeah.
But at the exact same time can feel like one of the coldest cultures on earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like people here can, from an outsider's perspective, can seem so uncaring and callous that it's just like, God, do you people have a soul?
Yeah.
Like that is the common thought that a lot of foreigners have when they come to Japan and they experience some stuff. It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like no one, so in Tokyo, of course, it's like New York where you kind of ignore everyone around you.
Yeah.
But even so, like, even, so now I live in the suburbs where it's less populated, and people will say hello to you on the street if it's your neighbor.
For sure.
But if it's your direct neighbor. But if it's someone who's not your direct neighbor, you wouldn't say that. Whereas like in the United States, you're like considered rude. Like Seattle's a little bit different. That area's different. But where my mom's from in the South, in South Carolina, it's like a social faux pas to not say hi to someone on the street.
Yeah.
Even if they're a stranger.
Yeah. 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 It's like, I'm not, I can already see the comments coming. They're like, oh my God, Austin hates Japanese people. Austin, why don't you go back to America? I know. Wait, what part of Japanese culture do you actually like, Austin? Because you always complain about Japan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm making fun of you guys. Anyways, but no, I'm not saying Japan's actually a cold place. Like you can experience some really great hospitality here. Like I'll tell you, it's interesting where you really find hospitality, like traditional hospitality in the way that like an American would think. Moms.
What do you mean?
Moms preparing bentos for their kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, or just moms like doing stuff for their kids. Like that's not the only example, but that's like, I think the easiest one to immediately think of in Japanese culture. Cause like the amount of like intricate little things that you see moms do for their kids here, it's like so above and beyond what a parent like really needs to do.
Yeah, like I remember when I first saw the Japanese bentos that the moms were making. So it was really amazing. Like even in the States, you know, we would see these went viral. So yeah, you can pull this up now.
Yeah,
but like so we'd see things like this and like these are all like American websites that are saying, look at all these bentos that people have made. It's amazing.
There's definitely like an Instagram aspect of it, right? That like some moms will do it just like for fame, but like most of them don't, because like really, who's seeing this bento? It's just their kid, right?
Yeah, right.
So like the moms don't really benefit from doing this.
Yeah,
a lot of work.
Yeah,
there's hours and hours of work just to make a single lunch.
Yeah,
right. But you know, it makes their kid happier.
Yeah.
Right. And it's these like small little things. And I think when you live here in Japan for a while, you start picking up on it and you see the kindness that people can do.
Here's the thing though.
Yeah.
So that is for your in-group, for your family.
Yes.
What I'm talking about here is, you know, you talk to people in your out-group.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like in Japan, once either there's two things that happens. Either you're in the in-group with them, or they get outside permission to be kind.
Yeah.
Like there's a rule or something.
Yeah.
So then that happens. I think
I was trying to get to that.
like random acts of kindness don't really happen here.
I would agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'll give you another example.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've told this story once or twice on the podcast now that I think about it, but I was in Shinagawa on my way to work one morning. And I was riding the Keihin Tohoku line, which if anyone has ridden that train in the morning, it is packed.
Yeah.
To the point where even now, every single morning, they still have the station attendants pushing people in just to close the doors.
Yeah.
Every station up to Shinagawa, right? From Kawasaki. So I was right next to the door, and the door opened in Shinagawa, and you just get pushed out.
Yeah, it's
mounted.
It's like a wave of people.
Yeah, just moving out of the train. So it's like I get forced out of the train. So it's not as bad as I'm making it sound, but
it can be as bad as you're making it sound.
It's true.
Yeah.
So I get pushed out of the train, and I'm standing next to the train to go back in, and there's this fat woman. I'm just gonna say, getting out of the train, and she steps out of the train, but she steps in between the track and the platform.
I know.
And so immediately falls and gets like stuck between the train and the platform. And like this happened like inches from me.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking down like, oh shit, I need to help this woman.
Yeah.
Like this is a serious situation. So like I get down and I'm like pulling her out, but like, look, I'm going to be honest, like I'm a pretty strong guy, but like
she's really big. Yeah.
She was big.
Okay.
Like probably to the point where she probably weighs almost as much as I do.
Okay.
Right. It was
and
hard.
you're tall, so that's a big thing.
She was big.
Yeah.
And like I'm sitting here trying to pull her up, and like she's like stuck between the platforms, so she doesn't really have a grip to like, you know, assist me, right? No one stopped to help me.
Yeah.
The station attendant, after like 30 seconds, comes over and is like watching me.
Yeah.
And like he comes up and he's like, "Daijoubu desu ka?" And it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, dude, read the what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, obviously not.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, and it's like that kind of thing where it's like if I was in the US, now to be fair, if I was in New York, maybe that might happen still. But if I was in the US, basically like anywhere, and I would still say even in New York, people would probably help you. There would be 10 people who would immediately run over and try to help.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you know, I heard that actually, so I'm not sure if this is true. So if you guys in Japan know that I'm wrong, please don't write a comment because I'll have my feelings hurt. But that's a joke. Please tell me if I'm wrong or not. But so in America, they have something called Good Samaritan laws, where if you try to help someone within a certain limit and you end up causing harm to them, because you're trying to help them, you can't get penalized for that. Whereas in Japan, they don't have that. So if you try to help them and you hurt them, then you're liable.
Yeah, that's actually a really big thing that you brought up.
Yeah.
Because I've heard of situations where it's like, somebody ends up like passing out and falling down, and another person like going to like administer aid to them, and then them getting sued.
Yeah, right.
It's like, well, why didn't you do you know what medicine I take? Like, do you know the proper, are you certified to CPR? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, it frustrates me because I'm the kind of person, I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm the kind of person, if I see somebody in trouble or danger, I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't sit and watch or ignore that. I just,
because like,
I can't do it.
Yeah, when my mom first visited us, visited me with my dad, and I remember we were in the station. There was this old lady trying to pull up a suitcase, like up the stairs, and she was having a really hard time. And my mom was like, she had like this really like hurt look on her face, and she's like, "Why isn't anyone helping this lady?"
Yeah,
I was like, "That's just the culture." I really feel like here, of course, sometimes you see people helping and stuff, but modern Japanese society really is by the books, follow the rules. So if there's like a rule or an opening, people will do it because that's the expectation. That's why people give the best service here. But there's nothing spontaneous that happens.
Yeah.
There's nothing that happens between the rules. And so you have kind of this very ordered, very nice, like Disneyland kind of situation.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of sterile a little bit. But to be honest, like, for someone like me, I'm busy. I'm not trying to look for friends. I'm not trying to be friendly with people. I have a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
I like it here because things work really smoothly.
Sure.
Whereas in the States, it's like when someone starts talking to me, I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk to this person. I just want to do something,
Yeah.
So I understand both sides of it,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel that way too. I will say, like, it's not like you can't experience that.
Oh yeah.
Here in Japan, like just random acts of kindness. Like, I'll tell you one example. And this is actually an example that's like really close to me because this is like really one of the things that like kickstarted my love for Japan. When I was an exchange student here, I first came to Japan when I was 16. Okay. And I was down in Hyogo-ken, so I was down in like Kansai, and I used to like commute to school. So I was staying in Hyogo-ken, and I think my school was like in, I don't remember if it was
Sanda?
I was staying in Sanda.
As you're saying Sanda.
I want to say it was in Kobe, but it might have been Osaka.
Okay.
It might have.
I mean, they're the same thing.
I mean, cool controversy there.
I know.
It might have been Osaka now that I think about it, because we went to a Hanshin Tigers game.
Yeah.
Right after school
one
day.
Osaka.
Yeah. Anyways, let's regard this. So I was on my way home, and as a 16-year-old from America, this is your first time to Japan. The train systems made zero sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I had to ride two trains and a bus.
Yeah.
Or sorry, it's a bus and a train, right? And this was 20 years ago, which is it's horrible to say, but
man, you're old.
Yeah, no. This was 20 years ago, and back then, back in my day, there wasn't any of the little computers that will say like what station you're at.
Yeah.
So you had to really listen to stuff.
Yeah.
And this was like back when the buses were like,
no, dude, I can help you. It's gonna be like it's like like with the nose sound. Yeah.
and it's just like I don't know if the person was just mumbling or if the sound system sucked. You never can understand what they're saying. And it's like, there's no sign. You're just trying to listen to this. I was lost. I had no idea how to get home. And like, I was freaking out in the station.
Yeah.
I just did not remember what bus to take. And I remember this woman stopped and like saw I was distressed and like immediately came over and started speaking to me in English and helped me.
Okay.
She rode an hour-long bus with me. She wasn't even from Sanda. She rode an hour-long bus with me just to make sure that I got home.
Okay.
And then went back to wherever she was from. And it was like that random act of kindness that it was like, oh, I love Japan.
Yeah.
But I will say she spoke perfect English.
Yeah.
So what probably is the case is she spent a lot of time in the US and then moved back to Japan.
Yeah.
And just like maybe got that culture. I don't know. I don't want to assume. I want to assume that there's a lot of nice people here in Japan. But it was like that random act of kindness that like I really connected with.
Yeah.
And it really like kickstarted my love for Japan and coming over here. So
yeah. Well, I think that's a great story to kind of put a pin in on this conversation. But yeah, I would love to hear from other people too. If especially those of you who watch our show who live in the United States, are there any other sort of customs or habits you've seen in the States that you don't see in Japan? Let us know in the comments.
For sure.
Maybe we could talk about those in another episode.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
どうでしたか？この動画では教科書にないいろんな英語を学べたと思います。でも実際に話せるようになるには勉強だけでは足りないんですね。多くの英語を勉強している日本人の方はフレーズや文法をたくさん学んでいるのですが、いざ外国人を目の前にして話す機会が来ても頭が真っ白になって言葉が出てこないんですよね。なぜかっていうと、フレーズや文法の知識はあるかもしれないんですが、その知識を活用するための話す感覚がないから話せないんですね。昔の僕もそうでした。その経験に基づいて英語を実際に話す感覚を身につけるための世界とつながるメソッドを開発して、そのメソッドを広めるために IU-Connect というスクールを立ち上げました。おかげさまで IU-Connect を通じてこれまで数百人の生徒が外国人と気軽に自信を持って話せるようになっています。もし今の英語学習で満足しているなら問題ないです。ぜひこちらの動画をご覧ください。でも終わりのない英語学習をやめて実際に英語を話せるようになりたい方のためにはその英語を話す感覚を身につける方法がわかる無料動画講座を作りました。僕と僕の数百人の生徒がやっと実際に話せるようになった方法です。登録するにはこちらをタップするか概要欄にあるリンクをタップするかこちらの QR コードをスキャンしてください。As always, enjoy your English adventures. これからも一緒に世界とつながりましょう。See you next time!